Okay, have you ever been there? You're looking at your kid, they're supposed to be doing their homework, but they're just stuck. And you can feel that frustration bubble up, right? You're thinking, this is just laziness. Maybe they're being defiant. But what if it's something else entirely? Let's get into this, because what we see as a character flaw, well, it might actually be a cry for help.
And this one idea, it honestly changes everything. It reframes the entire problem. See, it's not about a lack of willpower. It's about a lack of capacity. The tank is just completely empty.
All right, so let me paint a picture for you, and I bet it's going to feel incredibly familiar. We'll call this the unreachable child. It's that scene where you, the parent, are on one side of this invisible wall, and your kid, they seem like they're a million miles away. You know, it usually starts like this. All activity just stops. The pen goes down, the book snaps shut. They're physically right there in the room, but it feels like they've completely checked out. And then there's the look. That blank stare. You know the one. It's fixed on a wall, or the ceiling, or just nothing at all. And that look can be so infuriating, can it? Because it just feels like total disengagement.
Or, hey, maybe it's this. They reach for the nearest screen, right? Their phone, a tablet, and to us, that looks like the ultimate act of avoidance. It's like, great, they're choosing a game over their responsibilities. Or, at least, that's how it seems on the surface. So you say their name, once, then twice. Maybe that third time is a little louder, a little sharper, and you get absolutely nothing. It's like you're talking into a vacuum. They don't even flinch.
And right on cue, there it is. You can feel it, can't you? That heat rising in your chest. The frustration, that feeling of being totally ignored, maybe even disrespected. And look, that's a natural reaction. But it's a reaction to what we're only seeing on the outside.
And through all of this, they just stay silent. A wall just goes up, and you can't get through. That silence, it feels like the final nail in the coffin, doesn't it? Like, yep, they just don't care. But this is exactly where we need to start digging a little deeper. Because behind that solid wall of silence, there's something else going on, something totally different. So let's pull back the curtain, shall we? Let's take a look at what's really happening on the inside.
And this is the absolute key. That quiet, that unresponsive look on the outside, it's a total illusion. It's really just a mask of what's going on deep inside. Because inside their head, oh, it is anything but silent. Think of it like a chaotic hurricane of thoughts, anxieties, and pressures all crashing into each other at once.
It's this relentless internal monologue, just this endless loop of self-criticism and fear. I'll be late, I'll forget again, mom's gonna be so angry. Every single past mistake, every future worry, every potential disappointment is just blasting at full volume. There's literally no room for anything else to get in.
And all of that noise, all that chaos, it boils down to this one single devastating thought. It's not, I don't want to, it is, I can't. It's that profound feeling of being completely and utterly overwhelmed. It's like their whole operating system has just crashed.
So now, right, with this new understanding of what's happening in their internal world, we can finally get to the real diagnosis. This is the moment we get to slap a whole new label on what we're seeing.
Okay, so let's break this down. This is how we can kind of translate the behavior. So where we see he's being lazy, the reality is his brain has just hit its limit. It's overloaded. Where we see he's defiant, especially when he grabs that phone, what's really happening is he's desperately searching for a moment of silence in his own head. And where we see he doesn't care, well, the painful truth is he cares so much that he's paralyzed by this awful feeling that he just can't cope. And honestly, if you take one thing away from all of this, let it be this. This isn't indifference. Every single action that looks like them pushing you away is actually a desperate attempt to find just one moment of quiet in the deafening noise of their own mind.
Okay, so understanding all this is a huge first step. But what comes next? What do we actually do? How can we help them find that silence that they so desperately need? Let's talk about some real, practical things we can try.
All right, so it's all about shifting our strategy. First up, instead of pushing them harder, we've got to give them space. Just let them decompress. Step 2, we need to reframe mistakes. Teach them that forgetting something isn't some huge moral failure. It's just a normal human thing. And third, we actively help their brain to just breathe. Through taking breaks, simplifying tasks, or even just having a moment of quiet connection. And look, this is about so much more than just getting the homework done.
When we offer them this kind of space, we're giving them something way more important, something that will actually last.
And that's really the big question I want to leave you with. What if, by responding to their overload with empathy instead of our own irritation, what if we're not just solving a homework problem? What if we're actually teaching them how to manage their own internal world, to be kinder to themselves, and to find their way back, not just to their schoolwork, but to themselves, to their own sense of calm and knowing they can handle things?